Hello, you're watching PlayStation Access. My name's Dave, and I'm joined today by Nate.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about dreams.
Your dreams.
My dreams,
Dave's
specifically
dreams.
my experience of Media Molecule's dreams.
Yeah, which you went there to the studio and you played it.
Yeah, I've been to Media Molecule in Guildford. I went last week on a top secret mission.
Yep.
I didn't play it, Nate.
Really?
I watched developers play it.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I was absolutely blown away, and I felt compelled to make this video, which I have titled...
Well, mate, you better be backing this title up, because I've heard it, and it's big.
8 Ways
Yeah.
Dreams is going to change PS4 forever.
Forever.
That's my opinion, and
I'm
stand
sitting
by
up
it.
for this.
Get excited. So let's talk quickly about Dreams. It was announced in 2015 at E3. It's being made by Media Molecule, who you should know, who made Little Big Planet and Tearaway.
They did.
Tearaway is actually my favourite Vita game of all time.
It's a really great game.
And it's one of my favourite PS4 games. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's on both.
and I think Little Big Planet, you know, you might have heard of that as well. So, when it was announced, we knew that there was going to be some form of user-generated content. You can make things in Dreams, as well as playing it. They did a lot of live streams that you can watch on the Media Molecule YouTube channel, and you can see a lot of how the software was working at that time. And then they sort of went to ground. They've been working hard. They've been shaping Dreams, and they're back. And that's what I went to see. So without further ado, let's get on with what I saw. Starting with the first reason. This is actually not a reason it's going to change PS4 forever. Until we get to part 2. So the first thing is, there is a story, there is a campaign that you will be playing.
Right.
So it's actually 3 interwoven stories.
Okay.
Which have 3 very different art styles and 3 different sort of gameplay mechanics.
Right, okay.
Or gameplay styles.
Because this is what I think that people are, and me included, I'm going to set up, hopefully, a really good answer from you.
Okay.
Because people don't understand what the single player game or the story could look like, because they know that this game is essentially about creating anything you want.
Right, exactly.
So then how do you go, and after you've finished creating everything, or, you know, here's the story.
Exactly.
So what form does it take?
As I say, it's 3 interwoven stories. They're 3 very different looking and very different playing. So the first story is a noir point-and-click adventure.
Okay, I see. I was going to joke, like, is it a racing game? Assuming it was just going to be like a platformer. And wow.
I've surprised you. So you are playing a sort of grizzled, older, down-and-out gentleman, I'm going to say.
Okay, that sounds like me.
If I tell you that the first thing I saw was him waking up, he was asleep inside a double bass case.
Right.
You know, like, it's very stylized, sort of loads of
What
lots
does it
of
look
tones.
like?
It's very, very stylized, very brown, lots of light and dark, light and shade, weird visual effects.
What's the style? Because the style of Dreams to me was almost like sort of modelling, you know?
Well, this is sort of the point actually of the campaign is to, and I think the reason that they've gone for 3 very different looking art styles in this one overarching sort of story is to get away from that notion that Dreams is any one thing. The idea is that you have lots of different kinds of art styles, so you can be very precise, or you can be very expressionistic.
I guess it's hard, isn't it? Because whatever they show at that early stage of development, people are instantly going to go, "Oh, this is the game." You know, not unreasonably, but obviously with a game like this, it is a bit different.
Exactly, and they wanted to get away with that. They wanted to open up your possibilities rather than make just a sort of sci-fi game and you know, within Dreams, and then people think, oh, so it's all about sort of like, you know, this kind of thing. It's like no. There's
so there's 3. So I need to hurry you because
that's fine.
So there's noir. There's
so there's like a noir point-and-click adventure. So you wake up with this older guy, sort of a down and out. So, you know, this like jazz, and it's dark and weird and strange, and you're following the ghost of a woman. Don't really know why. You're exploring. Is it
quite a serious tone?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's not.
That's
not
interesting.
Not incredibly. You know, not really dark in tone, but yeah, I think it's quite a serious.
Because the tone of Little Big Planet, for instance, all of Terre was like a hug.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So
but this, I definitely wouldn't describe this portion as a hug at all.
Right.
The second game, or part of the story, I should say, you play the part of Francis, who you might recognise from the trailer, is the I guess she's a teddy bear
right.
with a mallet.
We're more in
like an angry teddy bear.
Right.
And so this is very different. And you see what I'm saying here about they wanted to get away from, Dreams is this particular kind of thing, or you can create this particular kind of stuff in Dreams. So this is much more soft and it's a fantasy. So you as this bear, you also play as there's a little fox.
Right.
Little fox creature guy.
Oh yeah.
And the two of you, because you can control either of them, and you can swap who you're controlling at any time. The two of you are trying to get back your pet dragon, from this evil bird.
Say no more. And what's the third
That's
one?
like a sort of Little Big Planet, more Little Big Planet platforming, puzzle solving,
Gotcha.
Very tactile, lots of tear away in there, so lots of picking up things and that kind of puzzle solving. Things have a weight to them, and like I say, very tactile. It's impressive how they used the DualShock 4.
Yep.
And the third strand is a sort of sci-fi action adventure,
right?
Where you play a little robot called Debug,
right?
Who's
I
trying?
Like that.
Yeah, I love that. Who's trying to restore power to this forest, which sounds weird, makes more sense when you see it.
Okay.
And there's kind of this strange, kind of glitchy virus that's preventing that. There's something that's happened in this forest, something kind of evil that's taken over,
right.
which he is uncovering and fighting back against.
Okay.
So 3 very different stories. They, as I understand it, they are interwoven, and I think they are both related to that guy.
Right.
I think it might be part of his psyche or his subconscious or something from his past. Anyway, so
right. Number 1, it's got a story.
Yes.
Number
2. Now this is where I really think I'm going to blow you away.
Okay.
And as I said, saw this last week, and I've told Nath none of these things because I wanted to save it for on camera.
Okay.
I do think that you're going to be impressed by this.
I'm excited.
The whole campaign, the whole game that I have just described, was made entirely in Dreams.
Okay.
And
that is exciting.
I've said that to you, and I mean no offence, but I don't think you'll understand. I don't think you will have grasped the scope of that. I've written down a list so that I, can try and just spell it out for you. So, the worlds were built in Dreams.
Yeah.
That each level was built in Dreams.
Yeah.
Every character was built in Dreams.
Right.
Every object. Every visual effect, every sound effect, every piece of music.
Okay. This is getting more, okay.
Every animation, every gameplay mechanic, every line of dialogue, every cutscene was all made in Dreams. So it's actually one of the rules that they could, the artists and the sound designers and everyone who were working on this, on the story.
Yeah.
They could only use things that they made in the game itself.
And that you could use afterwards. I get that. And I guess just from my small period of learning just then, because I was thinking about with Little Big Planet, they made levels which they put out in, and they helped, they got people from the community who'd made levels, and now they work at Media Molecule. And I was just thinking that you're using the same tool set there, but you're not using, like you said, animation, sound effects, music. It didn't go that deep. When you think about layers of production, that is different. Exactly,
and I don't mean that they provide. I'm going to come on to this in a bit, but I don't mean they provide you with, here's 4 different kinds of cardboard box, and if you want to use a cardboard box, use it. Or the music. I don't mean here's 8 different loops, and you can put them in different orders. You can make the loops, you can make the pieces of music, you can make a complete composition from scratch, from nothing, and you can make every object you can make any object, whatever you like, from nothing. You can animate the characters. I mean, like I said, this is a proper game. It had cutscenes, it had with camera moves and dialogue and different shots and different visual effects.
So if you hadn't known it was Dreams, you would have been like, this is just a game.
Yeah, I had no idea. When they were saying, so let's have a look at the story that we've made. We played through the story, and then they were like, everything is made in the game. And that I had no way of knowing that until they said, it looks like a game, like a proper game that's been made in some other engine,
Right, yeah.
Not a completely bespoke one that they've made themselves.
Okay.
So the point of the campaign, I guess, is to inspire you, because
it's a proof of concept.
Yeah, it's to inspire you about what's possible in dreams, because I think the scope of it is huge and it is hard to get your head around, because what else is there like this out there? Like, you know, even in real professional bits of software, they're focused on doing one thing. So, you know, you might use GarageBand to make a bit of music, but you can't use GarageBand to design a character or animate a character. I've tried. It's really doesn't work, which is strange. So, point number 3 then, which we have kind of touched on, is dreamscaping. You can do this too. So it's called dreamscape, dream shaping. Excuse me. And it's hard to grasp, but this is a whole other part of the game where you are creating, and it's not like just here's a blank canvas. You know, you can do anything, and that's a bit overwhelming. They've tried to, if you want anyway, it can be sort of categorized down to make things a bit simpler for you. And in the dream shaping, there's something for everyone, because I think it is overwhelming to think it's just about making games. It's not just about making games. That is one part of it, but it could be you just like sculpting little objects. You might like world building. And the scale of it is huge, by the way. I mean, it really is proper world building. You can build massive mountains and or tiny little really detailed objects. Within dream shaping as well, they're going to have community challenges to help inspire you, because again, as I said, it might seem a bit overwhelming at first once you're finding your feet, and just to have some little challenge like make a tree. You know, or
even I could make a tree. I like the sound of that.
I think they're gonna have sort of like the challenges categorized by like a time limit. So it's like in 5 minutes make a tree, or in an hour make a tree. And it is amazing actually. We obviously saw a lot of people using dreams when I went over to Media Molecule, and just it's so quick to put together something. So it's like putting pencil on paper. We'll move on to number 4, which is that you can share this with the world. So you might make a game, you might make a scene, you might make a little object,
often make
a gameplay mechanic, and then you can share this with the world. It just gets uploaded. You might have made just an object, you might have made a piece of music, you might have made a whole game, and you can share it with the world so people can find it. So you can categorize it, you can add metadata. So if someone's looking for a door and you've made a lovely door, they might want to use your door in their game. Or it can be something a bit more abstract than that, like a gameplay mechanic or something that functions, you know, something that works. You might have a great idea for a story, but you're not very good at sculpting or any of the other parts of telling a story. And you can share that and find people to collaborate with you on it. Also, it's worth saying, I think, that you can make stuff in the game. You don't have to share anything. You can make it private.
Just keep it.
Or you can share things, but so that people can't use them in their own things. You can show people your things. You can kind of
set the copyright.
Look at my amazing door.
But
not.
It's not your door.
You can't use the door. Just appreciate the door. So I think that's important. Kind of people might not want to share everything.
To respect the rights of the creators within this game. Right.
And you can even make objects or sort of prizes for people. If you've made if your dream is some sort of like a level to be played or experienced by a player, then you can you could have, like, maybe you've made an amazing door, as I've said, but only people who've played through and completed your dream
can have my amazing door.
They can then win that door.
For what themselves. Is through the door? It's the door you've won.
I know. I'm going to have to make a door now. We've bigged up this door in a big way. Number 5.
Yes.
Is that you might not want to make anything. You might be not creative in any way whatsoever.
Okay, I'm listening.
But the good news is that you can play everything, because the scope of this again is, huge. There are going to be hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of levels, things from small experiences that people have made, up to full games that people are going to be making. And they want you to experience them. They want you to find them. They've actually got something called auto surfing. So it's dream surfing. This is called, is when you
Right.
sort of go browsing, I guess.
Yeah.
The sort of dreamscape.
Quite an old school word.
Yeah,
Okay, well, it checks
and
out.
you can auto surf, which is, think of it like, the way they described it was like a sort of Spotify, Discover sort of mix. So
Yeah.
it's going to look at what you like.
Algorithmically please me.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think when there's the potential for millions of people to be creating things in dreams, the size of that is massive. There can be, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of experiences for you to find, and new things coming up every day. Once things take off are off the ground, so you could play games. You could play dreams every day and do something completely new from someone else's mind. And no two things are going to be alike, and that's for sure.
These ideas were nascent in Little Big Planet.
Yeah, definitely.
Like creating and sharing, but I guess. And it might, and I just caught myself thinking, you mean like Little Big Planet? But I guess the difference is, the range of different things you can do in dreams, I'm asking you, is different.
I mean, obviously this is maybe not logical, but a next step for Media Molecule, leading on from that. So as you say, that kind of DNA is very much in there in this game. But as they said themselves, the problem was in Little Big Planet that the community were relying on things that the developers had made, and it's like you give this whole big toy box of stuff and go, here's all this stuff, and you can rearrange it and make things out of it. Right. And people made incredible things, but they still had to use the sort of building blocks that were given to them by Media Molecule. Now they're giving people the means to make the building blocks. It's like, here's just a lump of clay, but it's not even for making objects, it is for making mechanics and sounds and music and stories. I mean, it's huge, it's hard to grasp. And I had a whole day of looking at dreams to try and get my head around it, and I'm trying to sum it up for you in one, in a short video. But so yeah, it's like before you were using pre-made things, even though there was lots of them, they were made by the developer, and then you were basically kind of arranging them, I suppose, and you could fiddle with mechanics and stuff a little bit. But now it's like you just have the palette. You have this blank canvas and all the tools to do whatever you want. And as I said, like, it can be a whole game or it can be one small little object, whatever you like. And I think that's exciting. And because it's the amazing ways that you can share things in dreams or on PS4 and in dreams. Your little object can find its way into something much bigger, and it's not like you just.
It's my only hope. Really,
yeah, exactly. You're not like you just spend forever making these beautiful trees, and they never see the light of day and anything. Someone might go, "Those trees are beautiful, and I've got this story about a forest to tell. I'm going to use your trees." So I think there's huge potential for some amazing collaboration to come about there.
What number are we on now, Dave?
We're now on number 6, so I'm just going to go. There's a lot to say, but I'm going to go and just try and say that of the dream shaping, it's the most intuitive 3D creation sort of software I've ever seen. Right. It has all the capabilities of a really high-end 3D software package you'd find on your, a computer you'd find a professional sort of artist using. Yeah. But they wanted to do away with, you see a piece of software like that, it looks very intimidating, there's lots of buttons and...
like Photoshop, but like in 3D.
Yeah, but they wanted to have more of a sort of app approach, like there are things that you...
I mean, like, the proper software suites are like that,
Absolutely,
like a million different things. I can't cut out my face in Photoshop, so you imagine what I'd be like.
But you might be able to cut out your face on an app, and this is the point. Is that they wanted the deep functionality of a professional bit of software, but they wanted to present it in a way more like an app that people are using on their phones all the time, and it's that kind of way. It's about giving the people that functionality, but finding a way to make it not scary and intuitive. Yeah. One of the amazing ways that they've done that is that you move things in 3D space. And what I mean by that is so say I'm using the DualShock and I've got, I'm in the dream shaping, I'm holding like a cube, and I put that cube there in the real world using my DualShock 4, then I get another cube to put it on top, I put it there again. Do you see what I mean? So it's like things are relative, are all kind of like based in the real world. It's whereas to do that in like a bit of software, you'd be sort of like, you'd have to sort of find this, you know, you'd be like comparing angles and looking at numbers and stuff.
Right,
but here it's like, because it uses the gyro in the DualShock 4 and things like that, you know, you're using 3D space in an intuitive way. It's hard to explain. I've tried using my hand here. Hopefully that will work.
Let's move on to number 7, Dave. Otherwise,
number 7.
Here
I don't know if I finished number 6 yet. Well, let me just finish number 6 and just say that they have done away with a lot of the sort of graphical interface that you'd expect. There's no, and a lot of the sculpting and stuff can be done with gestures. So you can use a DualShock 4, and that doesn't require a PlayStation camera, or you could use Move motion controllers with a PlayStation camera. And we saw one of the development team using the Move motion controllers to just sculpt. He was just building a world for us, like, let's, you know, just build a bit of a world. And he did it without going into one menu at any point.
Right.
He was changing the color, he was changing the shape of like the tools he was using. He was like copying and altering stuff, changing the scale, undoing, and it was all done with motions with the Move motion controller.
Right.
At no point did he have to go into any interface and any menus and select anything. And that's part of what I was saying about, you know, putting pen to paper. Like they want it to be as easy as to get an idea into dreams as it is to get it onto a piece of paper. It's like, you know, do away with all those things that get in the way so that you can just start playing with it, and it really works. So number 7 is that there is a whole audio suite, and this sort of blew me away. Like you can make music in this. You can literally make music. You can turn your DualShock 4 into an instrument. So there are loads of preloaded sounds and instruments in Dreams.
Yeah, so it's like a synthesizer kind of deal? Or?
Yeah, a bit like MIDI. So you can say, okay, I want this kind of guitar. Like, I want electric guitar, and then your DualShock, the buttons on your DualShock make different electric guitar notes. Right. And they say very much that they want all aspects of Dreams to be about performance, and you see that when you see people using it. So sculpting is very physical and visual, especially if you're using Move motion controllers. When you see someone animating a character, it's almost like puppetry. They use the DualShock to almost animate, and it's the same. It's the same with the audio creation. You know, it's a performance. They want to capture a performance, so you use the DualShocks, the buttons on the DualShock to play the different sounds. But you can also you can change the octave, you can change the different effects on the sounds. Right. If that all sounds...
I didn't understand what that was, but it sounds musical.
If that all sounds a bit kind of, a bit imprecise, there's also a more traditional sort of keyboard and grid system where you can actually draw in exactly what you want. So if you're very musical and you know exactly what you want, and you want to put in these chords and this melody and all that kind of stuff, you can do that. But also that's very intimidating for someone who just, you know, who hasn't come across that kind of software before, but they want to put some music in and they want to, to experiment. They've got a much more sort of organic system where, like I said, you just trying
start
things
jamming.
out. And in fact, they said that they, particularly in this kind of they've got like an effects circle where you move the cursor around in the circle and it changes things. And at the current stage of development, they haven't labeled anything because they don't want people to just see, oh, I want this kind of sound and go there. They want you to explore the sounds and see what's possible. On top of that, you can sample your own sounds. So you can.
How do you get them in?
You can use the PlayStation camera's microphone.
Right.
I believe you can use the microphone on a headset, and that's great. But if you are, again, maybe slightly more audio-minded, they have developed a web app, which means you can record your own sounds however you like. You could use a professional microphone at home or wherever, and then upload it directly into Dreams. Nice. So if you spent ages making a really good game and you're not really good at the audio in Dreams, or you've got your own setup or whatever, then you can just go away and you can be like, I'm going to take the sound
soundtrack side of it just as seriously as my other side.
Absolutely, and this is the point again, is that, you know, maybe you're no good at sculpting or games.
Again, I'm listening.
But maybe you really want to make a piece of music, and you know, you can do that, and you can find someone who's looking for a piece of music and put those hands together, and you've got yourself a lovely collaboration. Yeah. So the audio side of it, I mean, I'm really interested in music and audio production, and it just absolutely blew me away. Again, like, when have you ever seen a whole sort of audio suite that are available in as well as in something that you can 3D model and make stories and games, and it's just absolutely crazy.
Cool.
Number 8 is that I think it has real world applications.
Okay.
For teaching people and helping people in professional ways, possibly, as well as just being, you know, loads and loads of fun. For example, several of the developers who work at Media Molecule actually got their break from being part of the Little Big Planet community. So they were making levels in Little Big Planet and drew the attention of Media Molecule. And now they're working there making Dreams. And so, I mean, Dreams is definitely going to be an incredible place for people to make games. Like, you can make a whole game in Dreams. From start to finish, it can have loads and loads of levels. It can have a story. You know, on top of that, you could make a movie in Dreams. You could just tell a story, and so, you know, which isn't interactive, that people just experience. You can create music in Dreams. You know, you could write and create and produce an album in Dreams. I mean, you can even, as we said, record your own sounds and upload them. So it can have, you know, vocals and lots of layered vocals. You could have a choir of you if you wanted. I mean, no one else wants that now, just in case you were thinking about that. 3D printing is going to be supported at some point. Maybe not at launch. What does that mean?
I can make something awful and then make it real?
Yes, exactly. And it's something that Media Molecule have already done, and I actually have seen some of these things. I think it was at E3 2015 or another time. So they've made little characters in Dreams and had them 3D printed, made, you know,
we should do a video about that, shouldn't we? That'd be lovely.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
I would hate to think what Rob might make.
I know. I mean, I was worried about what I was going to make, but Rob would make something worse.
But I mean, so this is real. This is, you know, literally a real world application. You can make something in Dreams, and you can make it real, and you can have it, and, you know, you could make something that has a mechanism, that has a function.
Yeah. I see.
And I think that it could be useful to actual professionals, like people, well, as I said, game designers can use it. But, you know, if you are an architect or an engineer or anyone who designs anything, like if you were scripting a movie or something, you want to test out some shots, some scenes.
You could storyboard.
You can block things out. Exactly, and it's so quick and easy to do. Like, I think genuinely it's going to make the PS4 a tool that people will want to use, you know, for as well as have fun with.
If that comes true, Dave, then the title of this video will be more than justified.
Yes, exactly. That's what I thought. And so that is my 8 things. Okay. I have 2 very quick bonus things to tell you.
Why?
Because I don't think they will change the PS4 forever, but they're still very good. The first thing is that the whole game is couch co-op.
Oh, nice.
So, and I don't just mean the story, I mean
even creating.
The creating as well. You can do that.
And dream shape.
And I think it's really fun, even if just one of you is in control.
Yeah.
From what I experienced down at Media Molecule, it's really fun to sit with someone and just say, like, oh, you know, why don't you make his head a bit bigger? And like, oh, can you give him more of a stoop? And you know, that kind of stuff. It's just fun to create together if you're into that. And as I said, you can do the whole thing is couch co-op. And number 10 is that VR functionality is coming at some point, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, for 3D modelling, I can see how that would be.
But it's going to be absolutely crazy, especially when I spoke about the scale of the game. You know, you can visit these huge worlds that you could create potentially.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Nice.
So it's a lot to take in. I had a lot to say.
You did.
I've tried my best to summarise it.
Let's just say goodbye really quickly, and people won't notice how long this video is. Come on.
Thank you for sticking with us and finding out all about Dreams. Please do make sure you check Media Molecule's YouTube channel, because there's loads more information there that hopefully will make it a bit more clear. Thank you for listening to me babble for the last half an hour. Please do subscribe for shorter videos all about PlayStation.